Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's hop into these charts, see what the story is and what it may be. And remember, if you're interested in any of the services I provide, please check the links in the description below for both the Patreon and Discord. Okay, so I just want to hop into the charts as quickly as I can because wow, what are we seeing today? A beautiful pop to the upside in crypto as well as in equities. And not surprising considering today was a really important day considering that the Fed was talking, the FOMC played out, and we got the expected rising in rates of 75 basis points, which, the market, as you can see, has digested that with a lot of joy because it was within expectations. The Fed followed through with what they said and they didn't buckle. And we also had some very dovish, very positive comments, coming out of Jerome Powell, who is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. So it is very likely in the next FOMC meeting, which is going to be around 2 months, 2 months from now, we may get an even more modest raising in rates, maybe 25 basis points, which again is good for equities, which in turn is good for crypto. All right, so we're going to go over Bitcoin, Avalanche, Ethereum, Polkadot, Link, Cardano, and Solana. All right, so starting with Bitcoin, again, I'm not surprised. Everything we're seeing is playing out on the side of the probabilities that are in favor. Okay, I've been long this entire time. I've kept the group long this entire time because what have we been seeing? We've been clearly seeing a bottoming formation here, a short-term bottoming formation here forming. We had a nice breakout on the daily. Now we came back into the retest, but what we saw in this candle here on July 25th, we broke under this level here at 20 right here, 21,880. Which, was showing signs that, okay, we may have some more downside where we possibly were going to test this trend line here, right here. And that's what we did. Touch it, pop right above it. And what's even crazier is this candle didn't even close the low of this candle. So it did not confirm the break of this level. What is the definition of a breakout in my book? I've said it over and over, but for the new members, essentially, for a daily candle to break out from a level above or below, I want to see a daily candle break the level and then the next daily candle close above the high of that candle to a breakout to the upside, or a close below the low of the candle if it's a breakout to the downside. I hope that makes sense, okay? And we did not get that here, and boom, we have the breakout higher, and now we're going to see if we can get that continuation to break towards first minor resistance, which is about 24,500, and then another break going towards 25,000, and then eventually towards my ultimate target of 28,000 to 30,000. Once we get towards those levels, that's when I can see a major reversal from the relief rally we're probably experiencing, and then the continuation of the macro downtrend to go to even lower levels than we did here in June. Okay, so my path has not changed. That's one of the reasons why I'm not going to consistently do the recaps if the structure is the same. But I did want to make this recap just so we're still on the same page. And if you're along with me in any of the positions or all the positions, then we're in a very, very good spot. And we just have to ride this wave and continue to stay vigilant. And once we get the opportunity to take our profits, we're going to take our profits. Mainly, if you want to keep a good eye on when you can see Bitcoin start breaking the relief rally structure and beginning to play out the larger macro downtrend, well, here's your trend line. Okay, here's your trend line. Now just extend this trend line out as the days progress, and once you see this level break, it's very likely we're probably going to break lower. Okay, but before that, I do see us making it, as I've been saying, towards this zone here as this blue line here gets extended out. Okay, so that's what I'm targeting, this general zone, before we hit a major wall of resistance and then a break lower. All right, and it's possible, of course, we could break higher. Again, we have to wait and see how price action looks at the time. All right, so let's go on to Avalanche next. Boom. Here's Avalanche, perfect. All right, so Avalanche, again, very similar. Did even better to hold this level compared to Bitcoin, so held this top pivot zone over here, as you can see, beautiful hold. And then, of course, continuing higher from the pivots of the low, beautiful. Okay, it's the same story throughout all of crypto, and we're likely going to see my levels starting to get hit. First level going to be around $30, and then the next major level is going to be around $36 to $35, and then $40. Once we get to $40, watch out for a break lower or watch for a break higher towards $50, but consider $50, in my opinion, to be that ceiling. It's extremely unlikely for Avalanche to break past $50. Bitcoin will have to be going to much higher levels than 30,000. In my opinion, probably approaching 40,000 before Avalanche gets the fuel to break past $50. So I would aim for $40 to $50 to begin to kind of ladder in shorts, in my opinion. Of course, that's not what I'm doing right now, as we're currently long, and we'll take our position off when I deem it's right. I was very close when we were touching these zones here, but I wanted to give it a little bit more room. Of course, it sold off more than I would have liked, but now we're gonna make another go at it, and I do think we can break past these pivot highs at $26, $26.30, and then go towards my $30 target ultimately. All right, so that's where I'm kind of eyeing it right now. And Ethereum is next. Ethereum looking beautiful, coming towards my first major resistance zone, which is about $1,700. It was very likely that this was going to happen. It had a much more powerful rebound day than Bitcoin, even closing the green here, showing a little bit of a bottoming tail, though this isn't a bottoming tail in this structure, in this context of this price action. If you want to learn more about context and structures, you'll have to go through my tutorials. Okay, you can check that out through my Patreon, or you can just DM me if you want more information. But you can tell if this candle was showing signs of reversal, but as a bottoming tail, this is not how it looks. The probabilities of this breaking up higher was much lower than, let's say, if the bottoming tail was somewhere down here. Okay, but beautiful candle so far. I'm loving it, and we're likely going to see 1700 revisited, and probably a push towards 18 to 1900 before any major reversal. All right, again, there's not much to say here. Everything's kind of going as we've expected. So there's a lot of surprise in the market. Not too surprising for us. We've just been patient and just riding it out. Polkadot is interesting. I like Polkadot. I've mentioned Polkadot's structure over and over, though it is a bit more of a laggard in the sense that it's not having the rip, because Polkadot's in a really cool structure. Okay, so I like how it protected this bottom pivot. Very powerful compared to Bitcoin or Ethereum. And then now we're seeing that now it's going to go and attack this short-term resistance here. All right, and what you're likely going to see here, what you're likely going to see here is a violent move higher towards $9.50 and maybe towards $10.30. Take a look at how Avalanche's structure looks compared to Ethereum, and then compared to Bitcoin. Do you see how much more muted this is? So when you get a tightening structure like this, that's kind of like a band being pulled, being stretched before let go, you're going to see a massive rip higher. Okay, of course, there's always the possibility that it breaks down lower, but the probabilities are on the side of a breakout higher, mainly due because of the context that we're at major support. We've had a massive fall, and it's also going to follow the market leader, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum, and this is going to be the major zone that will be attacked, which is going to be $9 to $10. And this looks absolutely fabulous, and I do see us getting past $10 possibly if this structure is going to play out one-to-one. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So we have, in my opinion, which is a descending wedge. So use these support lines here as the bottom of your wedge, and just pull this descending trend line from this pivot to that pivot down, all the way down as far as you can, and now you have a two-layered descending wedge. You can take this as the bottom, this is the bottom. I would take the bottom layer here as the lowest level for the wedge, and let's do a measured move and see where can we expect this wedge to fully play out if it were to break out, let's say right here. Wow, look at that. Right towards $9, $10 essentially, $9.97. So you can see this zone is likely going to play a major role of resistance, and it's also operating as a possible magnet for price to get to. Beautiful, beautiful. So Polkadot, we can really see a really violent, fast move up if and when this should break out to the upside. Okay, and as long as Bitcoin continues to price its way up higher, then we're likely going to see DOT follow. All right, so on to Link. Link again, pretty similar to Polkadot actually, just a little larger in the structure, and this blue line is my ultimate target for it to hit. Okay, and then also this descending trend line is playing major resistance. I don't know why it's not staying thick. There we go, because this trend line is all the way from its previous all-time high and it's played as resistance since, and now we're going to see it get attacked again, most likely all around this confluence area here. Look at this. You have the descending blue line, which is from a bottom from a structure that it broke bearish, which was actually a bullish structure. Then you have this horizontal resistance zone, and then this descending resistance trend line. This is a beautiful area for price to likely get to and try and break through. I do see Link having a lot of trouble here, but if it does have bullish consolidation, kind of oscillating around this descending trend line or right under this descending trend line, look for that move higher to test at least $10, $11, and then eventually going towards the 13s and maybe even higher, depending on what Bitcoin does. And if you want to understand what next to look at should that happen, well, guess what? Just use the trend line you see here of the top of this bullish structure that I broke bearish and extend it out. This is why trend lines are incredible. Look at that, going right towards $13 and change, which would really play out. If this path plays out, you can see the confluence everywhere. It's absolutely incredible. It's one of the reasons why I really like Link's chart. And what's great, guys, we're green in everything. We're green in everything, save for our Bitcoin position, but all our altcoins were green. So there's really not too much stress going on right now. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I'm going to be looking to take some profits as we go higher. So, if you're in these positions with me, please make sure you have the alerts on for the Discord, okay? All right, so on to the next one, which is Cardano. So Cardano, let's see what's going on. Cardano again, pretty again, playing a pretty interesting structure, more of a rangy structure. All right, so it hasn't really been able to break out past this top pivot here, topped out right here, which is about 55 cents. I do see that getting attacked, and I actually see that getting taken out relatively quickly. I like Cardano's structure as well. Let's see here from this top pivot right here, pulling it down from here. Look at that. So this, messed that up. So this is what I like to see. This is kind of the price action you want to see. You want to see, support zone being held, then have a nice bullish rise, and then you have a consolidation, which I would consider this to be a bullish consolidation under this resistance zone. And now we're going to see if Cardano can get that fuel to break through and then try and find a base above this trend line, at the trend line, or at this top pivot zone right here, like this, and then attempt to break out even higher towards the 60 cents, and then eventually 75 cents being my ultimate high target for Cardano. Okay, so again, this is it's all about just playing with the trend lines and finding the points of interest. Okay, and if you want to know, just turn on the pivots. If you can't see it yourself, if you're new to charts, if you don't have the eye for it, just turn on pivots and see where you see a cluster of these pivots and start playing with the lines. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping you. You don't have to have a million lines in your charts. Just start playing with the pivots, draw the trend lines out, and then start cutting away the trend lines that are redundant from each other, and your chart gets cleaner before you know it. And you start seeing the major points of resistance. This isn't magic. It feels like magic, but it's not. And once you get the hang of it, you can start seeing things much quicker than most, right? For me, it's wedge patterns. This is a wedge pattern. It's very easy. It's very easy to see. All right, so on to the next one. Solana, which is beautiful. We entered this trade yesterday, day before yesterday, and it's already making a killer move. Easy to enter. I mean, was around this support zone here at $38.10, and also just like Avalanche, had this, and Bitcoin had this ascending trend line play right here. Beautiful. I mean, just it's so cool how these trend lines really work when you understand how to really draw them out. it's such an easy way to trade. Of course, it's hard to stay disciplined, but the actual mechanics of trading, once you understand these trend lines, it's really incredible. It's really incredible stuff. So yeah, and Solana, again, we're going to see the targets I've been mentioning. First major target's going to be this high pivot zone here, $45 to about $50, and then once that's broken through, I think Solana can be a massive mover, to the upside. You're going to see $60, and then boom, a move towards $75. If $60 gets taken out, I'm telling you, a quick burst of $75, $82 is gonna happen. All right. Of course, there's a lot of work to be done before then. All right, so we can't get ahead of ourselves. This pivot level needs to get taken out right here, about 47, $50, and then this level right here needs to get taken out. Boom, right here. So about $60. We'll round it up. Okay, and then watch for $75, $80 if that should happen. I mean, we have some potentially massive moves here, and I'll try to grab as much as I can. Again, what I've been saying in the recaps and also in the market synopsis, I hope you do read them. We can't get greedy. Even though we're seeing a beautiful relief rally and the potentials of an even bigger one, we are still in a macro bear market. Okay, this is a downtrend. We have to respect that. So we want to make sure that when we are given profits, especially when they're to the upside against the overall trend, we can't get greedy. Okay, we have to make sure that we take what is given. In the end, you make a lot more money that way. All right. And speaking of that, let's go over one chart, the NASDAQ. So another reason why I've had a lot of conviction staying long, because if you remember, I've been relatively bullish the entire time. I haven't really changed my tune at all, and nothing's gotten to me. Well, here's one of the major reasons. Well, the NASDAQ, I made this chart back in March of this year, and I made the S&P chart in February, I believe, and that one's played out pretty well as well. But focusing on the NASDAQ chart, I drew this descending channel some time back. And what have we been seeing? Well, one, we had the massive fall in the NASDAQ, all right? Really respected this, our green and orange zones. Then we broke under, and then we tested this, decent support zone at 11,000, which also had confluence with the bottom of the descending channel. Well, since then, we've had a nice, staircase move up, all right? Had a little bit of a fight at the median line. Tapped the green zone and then came right back to the median line to hold it as support, and boom, now we've had for today a beautiful rise back into the zone. I mean, this is bullish, guys. All right, this is bullish because descending channels you need to look at as being overall bullish. Okay, it might be a while before they break, but they always break to the upside. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen now, but I do think that if we get continuation from today going into tomorrow, watch for the first level to be tested over and over is going to be 12,970, and then a test of the top of the descending channel. All right. I do not know if we'll break it. I have to wait and see how price action looks. Right now, I do see a very high probability. We're talking, upper 70% that we're going to see 12,970 at least. But actually breaking past the top of this channel, I cannot say for sure. I do see us visiting 13,000 over this summer. So in the next couple of weeks, if not this week, but let's just be conservative, over the next couple of weeks, do not be surprised if you do see the NASDAQ back at 13,000, and we'll see if we could get that power to break through and testing the orange zone. The orange zone, it's very unlikely for the NASDAQ to break past, okay? Unless there's massive policy changes at the Federal Reserve going into the fall and winter. I do see that if we do get to the orange zone, and that's a big if. If we do, expect a move to the downside. Expect the continuation going lower, okay? But I do love what I'm seeing, and this sort of structure is what we want to see if we're long crypto, okay? All right, so I think that's what I'm going to go over today. I went over pretty much all of the positions we're in. I wanted to touch on the NASDAQ a little bit. But as I've said, not much has changed. I mean, I'm happy it's going up. I know everyone's probably, if you're in the trades with me, you're relieved it's going up. As long as you're controlling your risk, please control your risk. But again, it's great. But for us in the lemon garden, this is not unexpected. This was actually the probability. It was very probable that we were going to rise higher. So no matter what anyone was saying, it just seemed extremely unlikely that Bitcoin was going to break lower. The only time the probabilities would change if this ascending trend line is taken out. Okay, I mean we were talking, when I was looking at this chart a couple days ago with this ascending trend line, this horizontal support zone, minor support zone, we're looking at 80%, easy, 82% of a breakout higher. Okay, then we had this daily candle that broke under to tap this ascending trend line, and a beautiful play, little small bottoming tail, very very slight. I wouldn't even classify it as that. And then a breakout higher, and now a bullish engulfing. All right, we have an hour and a half, or about an hour and a half, to see if it can confirm the engulfing, and it looks like it will. And if it should, then watch for 24.5, 25, and then maybe another round of consolidation, and then eventually a move going towards 28,000 to 30,000. And then once we're there, watch out for a major reversal. By the time we're getting towards 28,000, should it happen, can't talk in guarantees, but should that happen, I probably will close out the long. I'm not leaning towards any partial closes. I'm looking to close out the positions fully, but the altcoins will obviously be closed first. I mean, we're in profit in all of them, and some of them we're comfortably in profit. So if I do change my mind about Bitcoin as a position, it will mainly be because the altcoins have moved so much in our favor that the risk is become nil. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, just ask me on the Discord. I can't promise I'll respond to you immediately, but I always will respond, even if it means even if I have to say I don't know, but I will respond. And if you are interested in the tutorings, do yourself a favor. I would at least ask you to try one session out. It's $100 a session, and if you want to do for the month, it's $300 for the month. So you're saving on one session in the month. Okay. I find it to be very fruitful. I've helped, I would say, a couple people, and I think I've done good, at least from the messages I've gotten from a couple, and I would really love to help you if you happen to be a struggling trader, or you want to learn about trading. The way I trade, it's very accessible, it's very safe. It mainly has to do with just being patient and treating trading like a robotic session, but also having fun with it. Okay. All right. So I think that's all I want to say. I've gone on long enough. So everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.